Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about late Islamic art. Onto the introduction. Islamic art includes work created for the Muslim faith and in regions ruled by Muslims, showcasing a unique culture from the 7th century onward. This later period, which is 1517 to 1924 Common Era, marks the era of the last great Islamic empires, which include the Ottoman, known for its domed architecture and tall minarets, the Safavid, which is known for its carpets and manuscripts and paintings, and the Mughal dynasty, which is created for some of the most iconic works, such as the Taj Mahal. This era also produced diverse forms of art, including architecture, ceramics, carpets, and miniature paintings. So, some key ideas that we're discussing in this lecture. First, late Islamic art blends various cultural influences, including Persian, Ottoman, and Mughal traditions. Art often combines religious themes with secular elements, as seen in Behzad's Seduction of Yusuf, which we were talking about, which is the first painting that we were going to talk about in this lecture, actually, coming up. Calligraphy also takes center stage due to the avoidance of figural representation. Geometric patterns and arabesques represent the infinite nature of God. Islamic architecture, like the Mosque of Selim, merges aesthetic beauty with spiritual significance. Art also reflects influences from Greek, Roman, Byzantine, and Persian traditions, which is evident in the Sultan Muhammad's court of Gayumars, which we're also talking about in this lecture. Human and animal figures appear in secular art forms, and nature is prominently featured in artworks and gardens. So you're going to be seeing that a lot through this lecture as well. So here are some of our key vocabulary terms that we're going to be mentioning throughout this video. So yes. All right, so let's start with this painting by Behzad, the most famous Persian painter of his time. He originally worked at the Herat court, where he created this page for a copy of the Bustan by the poet Sadi. The story here is about the seduction of Yusuf, or Joseph, by Potiphar's wife, Zuleika, which appears in both the Bible and the Quran. So, Behzad has woven Sadi's text throughout the page in Arabic script, using beige panels to separate the text from the images. The story, as told by the poet Jami, explains how Zuleika lured Yusuf into her palace and then led him through 7 rooms, locking each door behind them. But when she finally threw herself at Yusuf, he resisted, and miraculously, the 7 doors opened, allowing him to escape. So, the content of this painting captures the theme of temptation and virtue, which was central to both the biblical and Quranic narratives. What's really impressive here is Behzad's use of vivid colors and the intricate details that should suggest the luxurious fabrics and tiled walls of Zuleika's palace. You can see his balance between flat patterns and the depth created by the staircase and balconies as well. So the composition showcases Behzad's use of space, as he created a kind of layered effect that invites viewers into the scene. And the function of this painting kind of serves to convey the moral lesson and cultural values about temptation, fidelity, and divine intervention again. And Behzad's style was so influenced that his apprentices later took his techniques to the Mughal court in India, which spread this distinctive style even further. And this painting was created around 1488 during a period of rich artistic development in Persia, particularly under the Timurid dynasty. All right, moving on. Let's take a closer look at Sultan Muhammad's court of Gayumars. So, just firstly, historians kind of consider this to be the greatest Persian painting ever created. From so many historians, this is they call this their Sistine Chapel, and this painting is their high Renaissance as well. They got there from Behzad, the painting we just talked about, but this is their Renaissance. So let's take a closer look at this painting. So this page shows Gayumars, the legendary first king of Iran, and his court. And this kind of illustrates a major moment for Shahnameh, the Persian national epic. So, according to this tradition, Gayumars ruled from a mountaintop where when people first learned to cook food and wear leopard skins, which you can see in this image as the king and everyone around him are dressed in these skins. So, Gayumar sits on his mountain throne, surrounded by light in the middle of a golden sky. His son and grandson are perched on colorful rocks to the left and right of him, while the court is gathered around him. So, this painting kind of reflects the harmony between humanity and nature, and you can even see the human faces hidden in the rocks and animals scattered throughout the landscape as well. So, according to Shahnameh, wild animals became tame in Gayumar's presence, and that peacefulness kind of really comes through this painting, which emphasizes the kind of ideal qualities of leadership in Persian culture. So, Sultan Muhammad's touch is incredibly delicate. So, he painted the figures and animals and trees and rocks with so much care that the whole scene kind of feels light and airy. The painting is created with ink and watercolor and gold on paper, and this kind of showcases a vibrant color palette with intricate details. As you can see, the off-center placement of the composition on a background of gold leaf adds to the feeling of weightlessness and again, light and airy, as we said before, making it kind of seem like the scene is floating, actually. So this artwork was made during the Safavid dynasty with Shah Tahmasp commissioning the Shahnameh manuscript to emphasize Iran's rich history. The manuscripts actually help legitimize his rule and connect his reign to the greatness of ancient Persia. And it presents a special view of Iran's past, and it was kind of designed for the royal patron Shah Tahmasp.
Hello everyone, today I want to talk about the Mosque of Salam II, located in Edirne, Turkey. It's one of the best examples of Ottoman architecture, and it was designed by the super famous architect named Sinan. The mosque was built between 1568 and 1575, and what's really cool about it is how it combines amazing engineering with deep symbolism. So at the center of the mosque, there's this huge dome. The dome is actually built on an octagonal base, but the floor plan of the mosque is a square. This mix of shapes isn't random, it has meaning. In Islamic design, the octagon represents infinity or the spiritual world. The square, on the other hand, symbolizes the earthly world. By combining how these two are similar, Sinan was showing the connection between the material world and the divine pretty deep. Now, the dome doesn't just stand there by itself. It's supported by 4 half domes at the corner of the mosque. These half domes help hold up the big dome, but they also make your eyes naturally look upward, almost like it's guiding you from the ground to the sky. Even though the building is massive, it feels really open and airy because of how the space is designed. One thing I found super interesting is that Sinan used the precise numbers and ratios to make sure everything in the mosque is perfectly balanced. You can feel the harmony as you walk in. Everything feels like it's connected from the columns to the half domes, all leading up to the main dome. That's what makes this mosque stand out. It's not about just being good looking, but it's also about feeling balanced. In the end, Sinan didn't just want to build a mosque, he made a statement. The way the dome seems to float above everything makes you think about the relationship between the heavens and the earth. It's not just a place to pray, it's also a place to reflect on the infinite divine world among us. The mosque stands as a lasting tribute of the Ottoman architecture and the profound vision of one of history's greatest architectures. So next we have the mosque lamp of Sayef el-Den Kuzamor, which is made in Egypt in 1340. This lamp is a beautiful example of Islamic art, and you can find it in the British Museum in London. It is made of glass, and what makes it special is the enamel decoration that covers it. The lamp is shaped a bit like an upside-down bell with a wide, rounded body at the top with a narrower neck. It has handles on the side where it would have been hung with chains inside the mosque. Back in the day, lamps like this were used to light up the prayer spaces, but they were also designed to be beautiful and meaningful. Now the decoration on this lamp is super detailed. The enamel is painted in different colors, and they are patterns in Arabic calligraphy that wrap around its surface. Its most important part of the design is a verse from the Quran which talks about God's light being from the light of the lamp. This makes the lamp not only a functional object, but also a symbol of divine guidance. When the wick inside was lit, the flame would have been bright, making the verse almost glow with meaning. The colors used on the lamp were also really striking. You can see blues, reds, golds in the enamel, which create a rich contrast against the glass. These colors would have been carefully chosen to stand out even in the dim light of a mosque. The verse from the Quran is written in beautiful Arabic script, which is a key feature of Islamic art. Calligraphy like this wasn't just writing, it was an art within itself meant to honor the sacred words of the Quran. In conclusion, the mosque lamp of Sayyaf al-Din Tukhuzomor is more than just a lamp. It's a stunning piece of art that brings together the faith and function. The way the light from the lamp is shined among the colors contrasted showed that the spiritual atmosphere of the mosque reminds the worshippers of God's light and presence. It's amazing to think about how much detail and meaning went into creating something like this even hundreds of years ago that is still talked about today.
Now we are moving on to the Court of Lions, which is also known as the Palace of Lions. The Court of Lions in the Alhambra Palace, which is in Spain, was built between 1354 and 1391 during the Nasrid dynasty. At the center is an octagonal basin supported by 12 sculpted lions, symbolizing strength and purity. The lion fountain is unique in the Islamic world because freestanding stone sculptures of living creatures were usually avoided in sacred spaces due to beliefs against depicting human and animal forms. Sculptures were also avoided in places of worship because Muslims focus on their devotion to God and do not idolize anything else. This fountain stands out as a rare instance where the art symbolizes power and luxury rather than religious devotion. Even with the unusual animal sculptures, the courtyard's design is unmistakably Islamic, featuring a variety of pointed arches and richly decorated stucco walls with interwoven patterns. Surrounding the basin are beautifully carved marble columns and walls adorned with intricate stucco work and calligraphy, showcasing the artistic traditions of the time. Together, these feature a peaceful space that emphasizes the significance of nature in Islamic garden design. This palace was home to Muhammad V, and its courtyard, lush gardens, bath, and luxurious furnishings evoke an image of paradise. The next piece of architecture we are going to look at is the Madrasa Mosque Mausoleum complex of Sultan Hassan. Its construction started in 1356 in Cairo, Egypt, and is seen as a beautiful example of Mamluk architecture that combines a mosque for worship, a madrasa for education, and a mausoleum for the sultan. In each corner of the main courtyard between the iwans, there is a madrasa featuring its own courtyard and 4 or 5 stories of student rooms. The largest iwan, located on the southern side of the complex, served as a mosque. The mosque features a large prayer hall decorated with stunning calligraphy and geometric designs, while the mausoleum stands out with its impressive dome. The builders strategically positioned the dome-covered cube south of the mosque so that the worshippers facing Mecca would direct their prayers towards Hassan's tomb. Hassan's tomb included himself and his 2 sons. This intentional arrangement emphasized the Sultan's significance and integrated his memorial into the mosque's spiritual atmosphere. Surrounding the central courtyard are 4 iwans dedicated to teaching different Sunni schools of Islamic law, highlighting the complex's role in both spirituality and learning. Sultan Hassan built this complex to show his power and devotion, making it an important center for education and religion in the community. Its location near the citadel emphasizes its significance in Cairo's daily life, and the construction took 7 years and became a vital part of the city's cultural and religious landscaping, influencing all future generations.
Thanks for listening!